Hello Fastlane. I've wanted to write a guide on Facebook ads for some time now. While there's already buy on this subject, there's always new stuff to learn and to talk about when it comes to FB ads. Note that this isn't going to be a step-by-step guide, but rather a compilation of useful answers to common problems that I faced when I was teaching myself Facebook ads, and what my clients usually ask. The goal here is to demystify how Facebook ads really work, so I'll try to explain everything as plainly as I can without going into any intricate details. You can ask me any questions here or drop me a PM. Due to my workload, I probably won't be able to update this as frequently as I'd like, but I'll do my best. Do follow this thread if you wish to see more new updates once they are ready. Hope you'll enjoy reading them as much as I do writing them. So far so good. Thanks for writing this up. When you set up your first campaign, you'll see a laundry list of campaign objectives you can set for your campaign, which looks something like this. This is where many newbies get a headache. What's the hell's the difference between engagement and traffic? Isn't lead generation and conversion the same thing? More on this one in a bit. This is important because if you don't set to the right campaign objective, Facebook will only serve your ads focusing on the objective. You see, unlike Google or Bing, ads don't get served based on users' search intent. For example, instead, Facebook's powerful algorithm tries to predict who is most likely to click on your ad, based on the user's behavior, interests, demographics, etc. For example, that's why the campaign objective is so important. When the wrong campaign objective, Facebook doesn't know what you want it to do. It can't deliver the results you want, and hence you'll end up killing your ad budget and your ROI. As far as most businesses go, they usually only want two things. They want to run ads to get people to take a direct response, buy my product, schedule an appointment, apply for a free consultation, sign up for email updates, etc. That means for most businesses, the only objective you'll ever need for almost 90% of the time is using conversions require you to install the Facebook pixel, or else Facebook can't track whether a conversion has been completed or not. You may be thinking, shouldn't I use objective instead of, even if I'm getting people to sign up for my free yoga class or watch my free seminar? Well, the main difference between lead generation and conversions is that when someone clicks on an ad with lead generation objective, this is what they get. Instead of being directed to a sign-up page on your website, the user gets a Facebook pop-up that is pre-populated with his or her name and email. Facebook calls this the lead ad. There's a list of pros and cons on lead ad versus conversion, but here's a list of important ones off the top of my head. So unless you're really short on time setting up a landing page or your Facebook pixel, you should never rely on Facebook to collect data on your behalf. For 99% of the time, you'll want conversions instead of traffic clicks. After all, conversions are the one bringing in money in your bank, not clicks. But sometimes installing a Facebook pixel that tracks conversions is not possible. For example, you are selling a book on Amazon, or a course on Udemy. In those cases, using the traffic objective will be your next best option. You can also try to redirect clicks to a landing page using conversions, then send them to your Amazon page. But this draws out the conversion process and you'll risk losing potential buyers through the funnel. While the conversion objective can be used for the vast majority of business purposes, it is definitely not a one-size-fits-all objective. If you're, say, a musician or YouTube channel, and you want more people to watch your latest video, conversions isn't going to do much to help you. Also, if you have the money to spend on building your brand awareness by running branding ads, conversions aren't going to cut it. And you might be thinking, what if I'm offering a brand new product that nobody has ever seen or heard of? What if nobody ever heard or tasted vegan bacon-flavored cupcakes? How then do I use Facebook ads to reach potential clients? I'll talk about it in part 2, where I share a powerful framework that I use, that works for nearly every type of offer imaginable. In part 1 we talked about using conversions as the key objective for your business needs, whether it's for sales or for leads. But how do you get conversions? How do you turn total strangers into potential buyers? There's really only two things you need to do when running Facebook ads. Now, if you are familiar with other types of digital marketing, such as content or email marketing, the concept is exactly the same. I use what I call a no-brainer framework, because it's deceptively simple. With this method, there is no need to overcomplicate your Facebook ads campaigns with any messy click-through funnels or whatever. All you need is these 3 campaigns. Looks easy enough, right? Let's look at all 3 in detail. Remember part 1 when I said to only use conversions objective for 99% of your campaigns? Well, the awareness campaign belongs to the 1% which doesn't use conversions. This campaign focused solely on reach, which means you're aiming to get as much views or clicks as possible. Whether they buy or sign up with you is not the main goal. Instead, your goal is to target cold audiences who have zero clue about your business or product. They might not even know you exist. Since they don't know you, they have no reason to buy from you. The awareness campaign is to help introduce you to them, and hopefully make them like you. That's why you need to advertise with content that is both for generating awareness. I find that using video ads are much more effective than the usual image ads, especially on Instagram. The good thing about Facebook ads is that it allows you to buy uploading up to 3 to 10 images, complete with music and transitions. I'll probably talk more about how I produce videos quickly and cheaply for Facebook or Instagram ads if anyone here is interested. But for now, let's get back to the topic. The goal here is to target people who are warm prospects, people who have seen your ad in the awareness campaign, or those who have visited your website. By sending these warm leads a direct response offer, you want to drive them towards your website or store and explore, hopefully converting them into customers. What direct response offers can you send? I find that discounts are easy and highly effective. A simple 20% discount code off is usually good enough to incentivize people to click and check out your website. If you provide a type of specialized service like an agency, school or gym, a free consultation or trial session is also just as effective. But make sure you qualify your leads carefully so you won't end up wasting your time on freeloaders. Now, these are the people who have seen your videos, ads, read your blog, or even visited your store and added a couple of items into the cart. These guys are almost ready to buy. But for some reason, they are hesitating. You just need to give them a little shove and send them off the edge and become a customer. These are great for building trust towards your brand, and assure your hot leads that your offer is legitimate. Social proof is a very powerful thing when it comes to Facebook and Instagram users. Just look at all influencers making silly money. Sometimes your hot prospects simply forgot to hit the checkout button due to whatever reason, and an ad reminding them to go back and buy will be enough. Hell, you can even slap on another 5% discount code to sweeten the deal. So there you have it, the really simple and no-brainer way to run Facebook campaigns. On the surface, it doesn't look like much. But combined it with good ad copy and creative, and Facebook's magic ingredient, its laser-like audience targeting algorithm, it's where anyone can achieve great results. I'll probably talk about Facebook's audience in the next part. So in the meantime, if you've got any questions, ask me. This is super helpful for someone like me who has not spent a lot of time using FB ads and is intimidated to start. Extremely clear and concise. Thank you for sharing, and I'm looking forward to more updates. Thank you. I felt intimidated too. I first began learning too. When it comes to options, Facebook has way too many of them which most people don't even need. Part of the reason why I started this thread is to help newcomers understand that Facebook ads or PPC in general become more confident in running their own campaigns. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'm here to help. Thread upgraded to notable. Please go into more detail. I feel like you're brushing the surface with this guide. What do you define as a warm lead? How do you target these people? Is a warm lead someone who watched 40% of your first video, etc.? These metrics are just as important as your actual creative. This is super applicable to us at the moment as we just got a full day of videos specifically for advertising. Thank you for your question. I'm trying not to be overly specific on the details for a few reasons. One is not to make things too confusing so the stuff here can apply to anyone running FB ads. The second is to encourage healthy discussions within the thread. So to answer your question, well, yes. How long a person watches your video can be one of your key metrics to gauge a lead's warmness. BTW, I'm referring to Facebook videos or video ads, not on YouTube. There's no real answer as it really depends on the video length, the type of offer, the content of your video, or how long it takes on average for your prospect to become a buyer. That's why I can only speak for myself. What I usually do for clients generally is stick to videos that are 20 seconds or shorter and classify warm leads as those who've watched at least 50% of the video. Why do I choose 50%? Assuming your video is about some kind of full-day training or course, I would take the most important 20 seconds of this video and use it as an ad, with a click to watch the rest at the end. If you like, you can drop me a PM and I'll help you take a quick look at your video. Don't want to derail the main topic here as it's a good thread. However, LinkedIn is set up kinda the same way, multiple objectives and people not knowing which to choose. You could almost write this about them too. LinkedIn's platform is still light years behind FB's, but this methodology and thinking applies there too for anyone wanting to take this method and apply it elsewhere. Thanks. I agree about using LinkedIn ads. It's a powerful tool to reach potential corporate clients or audiences in the business or executive space. Hell, you can even watch Facebook. The biggest drawback on LinkedIn ads is that it's way more expensive than Facebook ads in terms of CPM and CPC, due to the type of audiences you get to target. I would recommend that anyone new and looking to run LinkedIn ads should at least have some hands-on experience in Facebook ads first. Interesting. Thanks for the read. I'm about to start with a FB or PPC freelancer next week, and plan to work together for some time while I learn a bit more over the next 6 to 12 months. There are so many courses etc. out there that can take a long time, but this was a nice intro that was clear and to the point. Time to start reading up. Thanks for the write-up. As someone who's intimidated by FB ads, this will really come in handy when I start running them soon. 1. This was never mentioned, but under the awareness campaign, should one choose brand awareness or reach as the objective when trying to drive people who have never heard of our products or brand? Also, how much % of the budget do you throw at awareness campaigns? I feel that awareness campaigns is good at burning dollar unless one is Nike. 2. For awareness campaigns, do you narrow down by age and interests too? Or is it like target everyone age 16 to 65 in all continents? 3. Do you run the campaigns one after another? E.G. Awareness campaign, get ton of visits and likes. Then start retargeting warm leads, then end that and start retargeting hot leads. 4. I'm actually curious how one would retarget warm and hot leads. Is it done within FB Ads Manager somewhere? I already have the pixel installed in my WordPress site. 5. I would like to know too. When I hear videos, the first thing that comes to mind is hiring a video production crew with models, makeup artists, stylists. All I can think of is the need for a $8,000, $50K budget per video. For starting folks, this is out of reach. 6. I'm curious to know about audiences as well. Recently, I played around with FB ads, and one thing I realized is that interests targeting is kinda BS. It sounds good in theory, and I thought it's simple as long as you know your niche, until I realize reality is different. So, for example, let's say I'm selling some handheld pet fur vacuum that sucks dropped fur from the couch and from the pet's body to keep it clean. Naturally, I would target things like objective, conversions, age, 25 to 45, gender, male and female, location, USA, pets, cats, dogs. Now, Facebook will show the ad to those in that range above, based on their interests on pets, cats, dogs. But the problem is, not everyone who has an interest in pets or cats or dogs will find the product relevant. Most of the time, these are just people who watched some cats or dogs funny GIF or meme or vid and they have no wish for such things. In fact, half probably don't even own a pet. Because of this, it burns a lot of ad dollar for nothing. It would be different if FB can target things like dog owner or cat owner, or has a pet sort of thing. In my mini FB experiments, one thing I realized is that the people who clicked on my ad are not even remotely close to the audience I want to reach out to. LOL. My conclusion since then is that one would need to be a whale in order to see any success on FB ads. There's a FB group called Facebook Ad Buyers. Everyone there is managing 7 to 9 digit dollar campaigns with unlimited funds to burn and throw. WTF. Thanks a lot for the advice. Awaiting your next posts. My life just got instantly better and way less frustrating. What's your opinion on tools such as thanks for the info? Thanks for this great post. I'm looking to drive traffic to a website in the near future, and FB ads seems a good option. A few questions. With your no-brainer campaign structure, if you were on a smaller budget, say $300 or more, or $500 or more, how would you allocate the money between the 3 campaigns? Obviously it depends on the market, but generally how much total budget would you want to test a campaign or offer? When would you give up on it? How much time does it take to manage the campaigns using your structure? Are you checking these campaigns daily? I have not used this Connectio before. I understand there are numerous tools that help to make your life easier while you manage your ads. Some of the more popular ones that I've actually used are Quaya and Adespresso. While they certainly have their time-saving benefits, I try not to depend on them too much in my workflow. Currently, the only third-party service I'm really depending on is Leadpages to build landing pages for my clients' ads. Everything else can be done using Business Manager. If it's too time-consuming, such as setting up 30 to 40 plus ads for testing, I would just outsource it to a VA instead. Also, I would tread carefully when it comes to buying yearly plans for these tools. Facebook's ultimate goal is to make its PPC setup process as streamlined as possible, so that anyone can spend money buying ads. Therefore it's not uncommon to these third-party tools become obsolete once FB rolls out a sleek new feature update. Thank you for the compliment. FB and IG are definitely viable paid methods to drive traffic. I would suggest you try out boosting a couple of your Facebook posts to get a feel of it before you decide. I would say it depends on the stage of your business. Are you in the midst of rolling out a brand new business? Is your offer something completely new in the market? If the answer is yes, I would put most of my budget in the awareness part. Not trying to put you down or anything, but with a $500 or month budget you probably won't see much results. You can use it to grow social proof for your Facebook page, get likes, shares, etc. But these are mostly vanity metrics and unlikely to translate into sales. Most businesses turn to ads because they have already turned a profit, but are looking to scale up their operations exponentially through Facebook's reach. If that's the case for you, I would definitely suggest you put in more money to see visible returns on your ad investment. Do you mean testing of a product offer, or testing of an ad audience targeting, ad creative, etc.? If it's the former, I would probably put in a couple of $100 into a 2-week-long awareness campaign and measure its response. I understand that many people recommend using Facebook ads to test out proof of concept for a new startup idea, but I've never done it myself, so perhaps someone else who did it before can help you. On the other hand, if it's about testing ads A or B testing, I will need to put in at least $10 minus $15 per ad set to ensure each test ad reaches a viable sample size. Otherwise, you won't get any significant results from your test and you just waste money. Depending on how much resources I have at hand, it usually takes about a month to get everything in order before going live. This includes getting your ads approved by FB, audience targeting research, setting up and testing pixels, producing ad creatives and copy, and setting up landing pages. Sometimes the client already have everything, with all the necessary assets in place. All I need to do is to go in and change up a few things. In these cases, it can take as little as 2 weeks. Monitoring of campaigns must be done daily, to ensure nothing abnormal happens throughout the campaign, especially during the initial stages. When I'm running tests, I leave them running for at least 4 days, which I find is the sweet spot for Facebook to fully optimize your campaign for your objective. The recommended minimum number of conversion events by Facebook is 50. Which means after 50 events, Facebook can do its own thing and start reaching potential people based on the targeting objectives set by you. In case you haven't figured out from the title, today we're going to talk about Facebook ad audiences. With over 850 targeting options, Facebook is one of the only platforms on earth where you can target virtually anyone, anywhere, from almost any walk of life. Whether the person lives in London, UK, or London, Kentucky, Canada, Los Angeles, California, or Angeles City, Luzon, we have almost infinite targeting options. The only problem is, with a ton of options at your disposal, it's easy to get lost like a kid in the candy store. Officially, Facebook classifies audiences into 3 categories. As you can see, even the names don't tell us much about what they are exactly, so I've split today's lesson into 3 parts, and this one is gonna be all about core audience. Core audiences targeting refers to targeting people using data that is available to Facebook. Thanks to everybody giving away their personal data freely to Zuckerberg, we can now target potential leads based on where they are, what their traits are. This one is pretty self-explanatory. But Facebook lets you target people based on weather, so for example, if I'm buying ads for a restaurant in Times Square, you can choose to exclude locals in your ad audience to save on your ad spend, and place your ad in front of tourists instead. Another straightforward option. You can target people demographically based on age, gender and language. While these aren't the demographic option, you can also target people based on their. All you have to do is to type in the related keywords married, executives, parents with children aged 5-20, bachelor's degree, etc. into the detailed targeting field. This is where things start to get interesting, pun intended. Interests refer to activities, hobbies, pages they follow, posts they liked or commented, etc. Behaviors are mostly parameters related to usage or buying patterns. Here's a screenshot that shows the difference between the interest versus behavior. You can type in virtually any kind of interest or user behavior that you can think of into the detailed targeting field, and Facebook will retrieve a list of interests and other juicy details. This is also where you can type in the name of your competitors to target your competitors' Facebook page likers. Once you selected the interest or behavior you want, Facebook will suggest additional related interests for you. It's easy to go crazy on the interests targeting, but you should be careful not to end up with a core audience that is too huge or too narrow. Facebook conveniently places an audience definition meter at the side to help you. Just make sure you keep the needle in the green zone and you'll do fine. Once you've finished building your audience, it's always good to review your audience for any overlaps. Why is overlapping bad? Overlapping audience can cause your campaign to perform poorly, as you can end up bidding with yourself, or showing the same ads multiple times to the same person, resulting in ad burnt out. To check for overlap, you need to first save a draft of your customized audience. Then go to Assets Greater Than Audience, select the checkbox of your saved audience, click on the elliptical and select Show Audience Overlap. This is a good example where there is little to no overlapping. You should also check for overlap when you decide to scale your ads through ad set cloning. But this is a whole new topic altogether, and make sure you watch this thread so you won't miss out on parts B and C. Awesome guide. Thanks for this. Can't wait for the next post. Great job and thank you for doing this. Great thread. When you are targeting multiple countries, is it better to have them in their own campaigns so you can monitor their performance better? Same goes for interests and behaviors at ad set level. Would you have them each interest or behavior in its own ad set or stack them? Yes, keeping them separated is always the best way to keep things organized. That's because if anything goes wrong, you can quickly go to the root cause and fix it before you lose more of your ad spend. What I do is I just name every ad set or ad with the content so I can quickly sift them through the different campaigns and ad assets. It helps keep you from going insane, especially if the campaign is managed by two or more people. Today's post is going to be pretty short. It's the second part of my 3-part audience series, Custom Audience. If you have an existing business, and have been collecting contact info from your previous customers but it's now sitting around somewhere, here's what you can do. You can feed all the data into Facebook and let it work its magic and find your past customers quickly. There are 2 reasons why you should do this. By targeting users who are already in your customer list, you can quickly find loyal past customers, and who have already proven to have an interest in your business. On the other hand, a custom audience lets you exclude those people who have already bought your offer, such as during an awareness campaign, where you only want to buy ads for people who never heard of you. The LAL lets you find new users who are similar to your current customers using Facebook's algorithm, which we'll dive into in the next part. There are a few data sources you can provide to Facebook to generate your custom audience. The quickest way is to upload your data, such as an Excel file from your CRM, POS, or email lists, and you're good to go. This is the one that most people go with because it's quick and easy. But there are several other ways to set up custom audiences, but you'll need to have a working Facebook pixel already set up, and already have high traffic coming to your site. Facebook constantly updates the different sources, so here's a screen grab of the available options right now. Needless to say, the more data you provide to Facebook, the higher the quality of the audience you're going to get. But you need to make sure your spreadsheet is already in the correct format so Facebook can read it correctly. I won't go into the details that Facebook can use, and how you should format them. This is where things get a little gray. Despite what Facebook wants the public to think, there's no way for Facebook to tell where the data source they're receiving comes from, whether it's legit or stolen. All you ever do when you upload a customer file is to click agree you have the rights to use the list blah 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 and boom, a custom audience. While it's true that using illegitimate data is against Facebook's toes, the fact is even Facebook themselves have no idea, because every customer list is hashed with SHA-256 before it's sent to Facebook. As you can see from the flowchart below, in theory no one should be able to identify specific individuals in the custom audience. Can you do it? Definite. But should you do it? I can't say. But if you understand the potential risks involved, there are definitely a couple of devious ways to hack custom audiences. Like, for example, Do you know you can download a list of all your LinkedIn connections, including their email addresses? Feed this list to Facebook and create a custom audience of your LinkedIn connections. Now you have a relatively non-intrusive way to send your LinkedIn connections to your website or to grow your leads. Thanks. Hope you can show more about video creation in your future posts. Thanks so much for this post. I am starting an online marketing agency. The two services that I want to offer are Facebook ads and website creation, so this thread came just in time. Best, champion. Audience overlap. Worry about audience overlap only matters when you have multiple ad sets using the same audiences, correct? In other words, if I have overlapping custom or lookalike audiences in the same ad set, overlapping shouldn't matter, right? That's right. In fact, nowadays the targeting algorithm is pretty smart compared to the early days of FB ads, and does a pretty decent job of sorting things out on its own. Unless my cost is unusually high, I wouldn't try to sort out any overlapping on my own, or I may upset Facebook's optimization. Correct, it won't matter. Audience overlap matters when they're in separate ad sets, because then the ads are technically competing against one another in the auction if the budget is large and or the audience is small. I'm still confused on how the retargeting works. Is this something that I have to set up, or does Facebook do this automatically? I've noticed that when I visit a website I start to see their ads on Facebook and Instagram. Is this what you are talking about? Do I need a third party to accomplish this? Thanks. Basically, to retarget, you have to put something called the Facebook pixel into your website. It's a little snippet of code, provided by Facebook, that tracks users and what they're doing on your website. To get a pixel, you have to create what's called a business manager account. It's really simple, you just go to business.facebook.com and sign up. Then navigate to Pixel, grab the code, and put it into your website. There's a little more nuance in it than that, but that's the basic high-level overview. You can Google or YouTube exactly how to do it. Then from there, once the code is installed, Facebook begins tracking users that visit your website, engage with your social media, albeit that you've connected your business Instagram account, or take actions on your website. To actually retarget, you do what the op said. You go into a section of the Business Manager, navigate to Audiences and click Create Custom Audience. Then, you simply choose your parameters of what you want to retarget. If it's an e-com store, you could do people that view products, add to cart but don't purchase, or whatever else. Once that audience has been created, you can navigate over to your Ads Manager and create an ad and choose to target that audience within that ad. Boom. You are now retargeting. I didn't go into a lot of the more nitty-gritty details, but I hope that makes sense. Perfect, that makes sense. Thanks for the response. Useful share, thanks for this. Very nice tips, thank you. I'm setting my first serious Facebook campaign. I did some ads in the past, but nothing serious. This is how I'm setting it. 1. The brand is a new one, so no reputation. I'm doing some nice clickbaiting ads. Of course, they are structured to attract clicks, and therefore traffic, from people who may be interested in the product, not low-quality traffic. There isn't the product in the ad, but the problem that the product will solve. The aim is to have low-cost clicks from people who might be interested in what I'm selling. The goal is select target users and have low-cost traffic of high quality to my website where the pixel is installed. 2. After 1 month I will create a lookalike audience. I should have enough users for do it and create an audience of target leads. For this campaign I'll use an ad where the product is well explained, what it does, the benefits, etc. 3. The third campaign of retargeting. For users that have visited the websites and clicked on the product pages, they should be interested in the product. I hope it will work. It isn't clear if at the step 2 I should stop the first campaign to attract more clicks or not. I didn't find a lot about it on the web. Only a lot of things about tech stuff, not a lot about strategy. Way to gloss over the secret sauce to making millions of dollars on Facebook with only a few lines. This part is where most people FCK up and is why we do so much testing. Great guide though, should help new people get started without wasting too much on setups that will never work. How much of your overall budget do you recommend using for awareness campaigns? If you aren't using conversion tracking, how do you measure effectiveness? Very useful information. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. What are your thoughts on device targeting for a B2B SaaS product? I don't see enough people talking about this. Do you just targeting all devices? Or would you say it's better to target desktop only? I was running a direct response ad at cold audience. It was driving trials at about a $17 CPA, which seems okay. I ended up pulling back because I wanted to see if I could get my trials to convert. What I think happened was I got a bunch of mobile signups. Then many didn't take action because they were on their phone. You can't really use my platform from your phone. So I need to have good follow-up and other systems in place to get them back into the platform. One thought that I had was to do the following: 1. Target all devices for the top of the funnel awareness stuff. 2. Target desktop only for the warm or hot audiences where I'm doing more direct response offers, but who knows, maybe I'm overthinking it. Curious to hear your thoughts. Read it. Loved it. Bumping it. Great advice for anyone who wants to learn more about Facebook marketing and still relevant in 2020. Thanks for all the extra tips. Great post, man. I wish this was way more in depth though.